The James Zadroga Health and Compensation Act was a bill that passed in 2010 that authorized about $4.4 billion to 9/11 victims and first responders to deal with their healthcare costs and restitution. Well, now that money is running out, and it's the original bill is beginning to expire. And the Congressional Budget Office crunched the numbers to see just how big of a shortfall there is. So in other words, what do these victims of 9/11 and the first responders, what do they need? How much money do they need, and how much do they actually have? And they say that the answer is, the shortfall is, quote, somewhere between $11.5 and $14.5 billion. So for those of you who don't know the backstory of this, it took Jon Stewart, of all people, and Fox News, Shep Smith, I believe, to get on the case about this bill in order to get it passed in the first place. So this bill came up to take care of the first responders, and it didn't get through Congress. Unbelievable, but it didn't get through Congress. Well, Jon Stewart heard about this, and if I'm not mistaken, dedicated like a week on his show to interview the first responders who were having health problems and the government wouldn't pay for their bills. And then that spurred Fox News and Shep Smith to talk about it, and then everybody in Congress was like, oh, wait, did we vote no? We meant to vote yes, so here, pass it now. And it got through. Now, it was a temporary bill, though, and it wasn't all the money that's needed in the long run. Well, now, like I said, it's expiring, and it's coming back up, and we pick it up from there. So Huffington Post reports, quote, the new bill Maloney and others have proposed would fully meet that need, the $11+ billion shortfall. And it has strong bipartisan support in the House and Senate, where 244 representatives and 65 senators have signed on as sponsors. But that bill has yet to advance, and committee chairmen in the House have begun to advance their own versions. One bill, drafted by House Judiciary Chairman Bob Goodlatte, calls for another temporary compensation fund, again spending $2.8 billion. That would leave the fund short by up to $8.8 billion. The Energy and Commerce Committee, which has jurisdiction over the health treatment component, floated a draft document also calling for another 5-year program. That would leave the treatment effort about $2 billion short of anticipated costs. All right, so let me explain exactly what this means. An overwhelming majority in the House and the Senate say, okay, if this comes up, if this gets to us, we're going to pass it. Okay, the numbers are solidly on the side of passing it. But you have Republicans in committee going, yeah, or not. Or I can propose a bill that still leaves over an $8 billion shortfall. That's one of the bills. And the other one is, or I could propose a bill that still leaves over a $2 billion shortfall. Take your pick. So you have Republicans in congressional subcommittees saying, yeah, we're not going to fully fund the victims of 9/11 and the first responders. That's not an option. No matter what, we're going to short you billions. It's just a matter of how many billions. This is unbelievable. I mean, these committees and these congressmen and these senators, they should be shamed. I mean, are you kidding me? Bob Goodlatte, a Republican of Virginia. What is wrong with you? If there was ever a case where it should be bipartisan support and it's a no-brainer, it's to help out the first responders of 9/11. Guys, when they showed up and then the first tower collapsed, everybody was breathing in all of these toxic chemicals, the particulate dust that was there made people incredibly sick. Some people got sick right away. Some people, it took years and years to set in. And they had emphysema, and they got cancer, and they had all these different problems. And like I told you, originally, Washington said, no, we're not going to pay for your care. You answered the call of duty to help your country, and you didn't blink. You were brave and courageous, and you showed up, no questions asked, and now we're going to say, fuck you. And then they finally got it through, and then now it has to come back up again. And you have people saying, well, maybe we'll help you out a little bit, but I'm still going to shortchange you. Oh, that's totally unacceptable. And what this shows you is their priorities. And that's why this is so heartbreaking. I mean, it proves something that we talk about on the show almost every day, which is that when your job is to represent Wall Street, represent the big banks, represent the multinational corporations, represent the elite, when that's your job, stuff like this is on the back burner. You know, you don't think about it. And then when it comes up, you go, oh, maybe we'll spare a couple billion, but we're still going to shortchange you $8 billion or $2 billion, depending on what kind of mood we're in.